Yo people, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's having a good day. Today's video is going to be me giving my initial Mandalorian Season 3 predictions based off of the leaked trailer from the Star Wars Celebration. I'll be predicting what I think will happen to the main characters. As always, I appreciate all the support and make sure to hit the sub button, the like button, the comment button, which ultimately helps the channel to grow. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So straight away, I'm getting the feeling that Bo Katan will be the main antagonist, and this is because of the Darksaber. I think that Din will go to her for advice at the beginning, and he'll ask her for help, or maybe any advice, or if she can bring a group of Mandalorians to help him as he goes off to the Beskar mines, the task which was mentioned by the armorer in the Book of Boba Fett. He basically has to wash away his sins for removing his helmet. I feel like Bo Katan will be kind of blunt and she'll be unhappy with Din, the fact that he owns a Darksaber and he kind of doesn't know how much responsibility and power he has, and he kind of just doesn't even care for it. The way that he tried to offer her the Darksaber at the end of season 2, I feel like these things will trigger her. Also, the fact that he belongs to another clan and he's technically not even a Mandalorian as of right now because he broke the code. So I feel like all of these things will get her kind of jealous, kind of angry, and we can maybe start to see a dark side to Bo Katan. So because of these things, I feel like she won't help him, which will result in Din Djarin having to look elsewhere. I feel like he'll go back to Greef Karga, who I assume is doing good for himself at this point, and he'll direct him to the last tracking of a group of Mandalorians or something like that. You know how the show goes. And ultimately, Din Djarin will find a squad to go all the way to Mandalore with. And I do think we could see Boba Fett and Fennec Shan join. I'm not 100%, but it seems kind of like a straightforward thing. Now, the next character I want to focus on, and I feel like he's severely underrated and he'll have his moment to shine and to kind of gain the spotlight for a bit, is Moff Gideon. I think it's going to be interesting because 100% he's escaping being locked up. Wherever he is, he's escaping. Now, I do believe he'll get help from someone. Maybe it's a new character, maybe it's a group of people. It'll be interesting to see who executes the job because ultimately, if it's a new character, it shows they're in allegiance to the Empire. If it's someone predictable, then I guess that speaks for itself. Me personally, I'm starting to think that Moff Gideon was a former Mandalorian. The fact he's just so knowledgeable about Din and the others, he has the obsession of ruling over Mandalore, and most importantly, he defeated Bo Katan, and he's not really force sensitive. So I feel like one of the other possibilities is that he was a Mandalorian. I feel like this season we'll get to see a bit of his backstory and perhaps how he even defeated Bo Katan. It would be cool if he even got a Mandalorian helmet throughout this season or something to just kind of prove this point. But of course, only if he was a former Mandalorian. I don't want to see him getting a helmet just to mock the others or something like that. I don't think that would be correct. I have a slight feeling that the armorer as well might be friends with Moff, or she might just respect Moff Gideon because he defeated Bo Katan. And I feel like they could maybe form an allegiance. That would be quite interesting because the armorer just didn't like Bo Katan. So this would be an unexpected alliance and it would be something I would like to see personally. So the next character is the one and only Grogu. I feel like his backstory will get filled in more. There's still a few unanswered questions that are very big, such as how did he survive Order 66? How did he end up in that place where we see him in Season 1, Episode 1, when Din rescues him? I have a feeling that Bo Katan and Grogu will have a moment or two. Maybe Bo Katan takes him hostage to get back at Din. I don't know, something petty because, she's just angry with him. I'm not sure if this is too soon, but by the end of this season, I would like to see Grogu in the Mandalorian armor. The only reason I say now is because for me, and I assume loads of people would want this as well, the end goal for Grogu should be Force user, lightsaber wielder in Mandalorian armor with some Mandalorian fighting abilities. The latter is what they should be focusing on now, and I would want to see that story progress before he then starts learning about the Force and all of that stuff. So if we can do 1 out of 3 now, I feel like that would be good for him. So I assume maybe the last 3 or the last 2 episodes will kind of just be Din Djarin going into the mines with his crew. He completes his task and everything. I assume they'll have like traps and other stuff. They'll maybe fight people, etc. It won't be easy, is my point. And I feel like after he completes that task, I feel like Bo Katan will ambush him and they'll have their fight for the Darksaber. And who knows, maybe some of Din's crew were double agents and they've been working for Bo Katan. Ultimately, by the end of all of this, Moff Gideon will have a new army, maybe the people that have broken him out. Plus, if he forms the friendship or the partnership with the armorer, she can bring on Paz Vizsla, and the armorer seems like a quite respected person, so bringing in numbers wouldn't be an issue for her, I believe. So I feel like all of them would form one group, and they would start to attack Mandalore, looking for the Darksaber and making sure that Moff Gideon executes the job. Who knows, maybe even a triple agent situation where we thought Din's crew was clean, but they're working for Bo Katan, and then maybe some of those people were working for Moff Gideon the entire time. Who knows? That would be just crazy. The betrayal and the trust would be insane. And I feel like these are 2 themes that should be very heavily implied and should be 2 things that kind of add the shock value to the entire show, as they are fighting to rule and have the complete power of Mandalore. Then a massive fight breaks out. Just imagine the quantities, just hundreds of people just fighting. I feel like Bo Katan will be the one to ride the mythosaur. I feel like even though they were implying that it could be Din or maybe even Boba Fett, I think it will be Bo Katan, and she asserts herself as the ruler of Mandalore once and for all. I would be very happy with this outcome only if she becomes evil at points to achieve this title, and she really shows that she's willing to do whatever it takes to become the ruler. Or B, if she isn't evil, then it has to be a really well thought out story, and it has to be unpredictable. It can't be anything cheesy or obvious. If this is how they do it, then I do not want her being the ruler, if I'm being honest. She has to be evil, or it has to be some genius plan, basically. I feel that Bo Katan will ultimately end up killing Moff Gideon, and the only reason I say this is because arresting him didn't really do anything, so I doubt they'll run the risk again, especially if they've managed to break him out of, I assume, what was a New Republic prison, so I'm not sure if they're willing to risk it having him alive. As for Din Djarin, I'm not really sure what would happen to him, as he kind of would end the season on an L, which I feel is needed because he's picked up W's in the last 2. I know Grogu leaving is kind of an L, but ultimately he survived. But I'm not really sure. I feel like it's not even really an L if we're being honest, because his side won. Like, Mandalore didn't get overtaken by evil. And at the same time, he didn't really care for the throne or the Darksaber, so it's kind of just regular for him. And if that's the case, then I assume maybe he goes back to Greef Karga with Grogu, potentially just goes back to the bounty hunting, or maybe even the New Republic tries to get him to work for them. I'm not too sure. But yeah, those were some of my initial predictions and thoughts of Mandalorian Season 3 as it approaches. The release date is February 2023, so we still have a while to go. But yeah, as always, I appreciate everyone that made it this far. I want to try something quickly in this video. If you made it this far, I want you to type in the following emoji that is on screen in the comments. But yeah, as always, I appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, comment and sub if you do enjoy the content, and I'll catch you in the next video.